Hey, it's Corey Blake for day 58 of the Vulnerability Challenge. And my hair's a little whack right now because I just got home from the Asian Foot Spa, which is about 7 minutes away from where we're living right now. And it is the greatest invention in the world. It is a $30 plus tip hour-long massage, emphasis on the feet, but full body. And it is amazing. And I wish that I could do it every single day. But alas, I think the piece that I wanted to share today was the kind of crazy little mind journey that I just took while I was getting this hour-long awesome massage. And it just cracks me up, I think, the human condition, but this is something that we don't talk about, is all the crazy-ass thoughts that we have when we are going through our day. And it just tickled me as I was laying there because, you know, I try to clear my mind like anybody during a massage, like you want to relax and not be overly thinking about anything. But the things that went through my mind just really cracked me up. And the first one is kind of embarrassing to share. So they do this thing where, where you're laying on your back, or I'm laying on my back, and they take my arm and they sit next to me. This person sits next to me. And when they are working on my arm, my hand is just kind of like dangling, it's just kind of like on the ground, like, like little flopping around. And oftentimes it'll rest in their lap, and it's just natural. Now, 50% of the time I'm at the Asian Foot Spa, I'm getting worked on by a woman, and 50% of the time I'm getting worked on by a man. And today I had this whole conversation with myself about my sexuality because today I was worked on by a guy, and I noticed that when my hand kind of flopped in his lap, I got really tense, like overly tense, and I was uncomfortable. And then I had this whole kind of debate with myself about what's wrong with me, that I'm uncomfortable, who cares, like what's the big deal? But also recognizing that when I'm being worked on by a woman at the Asian Foot Spa, I'm really relaxed in that kind of atmosphere, and it's kind of titillating, when our bodies rub up against each other in unexpected ways. And that's funny to share, and I'm really kind of embarrassed that I'm going to say that out loud, but it's just this, natural human stuff that goes on. So I had this whole conversation with myself, probably lasted a good 5 or 6 minutes, around, oh yeah, I am a straight guy, and you can tell by the way my body responds to a man versus a woman. Which is like, it's just such a bizarre conversation to be having. I'm a 42-year-old guy. I'm comfortable in my sexuality, and yet I still have that conversation about who I am and the way that I show up with other people. And I just started laughing to myself in my interior little brain as I was playing out this whole scenario and thinking of who I am and how I react and having this conversation, partially because in my history, there were plenty of people in my life who thought I was gay because I'm dramatic and theatrical and all that stuff. It's kind of a long-running joke in our family that everyone during high school thought I was gay, and it turned out that I wasn't, and that confused a lot of people. But anyway, that was one of them. And then I had another conversation around would I even tell my wife, Dawn, that I went to the Asian Foot Spa, because there's been this long-running thing throughout my adult life of that kind of thing. Like, I like to not tell anybody. It used to be in LA, it used to be once in a while I would go and get a cigar and smoke it, and I didn't want to tell anybody. It was like mine to own and not tell anybody. And so I had this whole thing in my head about, was I going to tell Dawn? Was I not going to tell Dawn? How would she feel about me going without her? Like, would she be, bothered that I didn't wait to go with her at another time? Would she be happy that I took care of myself today? Like this whole crazy internal conversation around all of this stuff. And then the third one that I had that I noticed was around my feet, right? Like, I woke up this morning and something bit me during the night, and my feet were itchy like crazy. I don't know if it was mosquitoes or spiders or something. I don't know what the hell it was. But my feet were all itchy. And so at the Asian Foot Spa, you take off your socks, and even though you actually leave your clothes on and roll up your pants, they put your bare feet in water. And in hot water, and it's got some kind of soothing stuff in there. And as he pulled out my feet and he was starting to work on them, I had this excitement because I had itchy feet, and I was like, oh, this is gonna feel so soothing. And then I had this whole thing in my head around, Corey, you're a disgusting human being. Like, you're having him worked on your mosquito bitten feet, and like Like, what are we all doing in our brains every day, right? Like, these conversations are absurd and hilarious. And I was excited, actually. During the massage, I was like, oh, I'm totally going to share this whole internal dialogue I've had in my brain over this past hour. Although I will say at one point it totally shut down, and I get these cramps in my feet, and he hit one of them at a certain point, and the pain was so intense that the mind shut off. It was awesome. There's two kinds of pain during massage, right? The pain that's like overwhelmingly horrible and the pain that's overwhelmingly awesome. And I had both of those today, but at one point that cleared my mind and calm me down for a bit. So anyway, welcome to my human brain. I'm sure we all have our own versions of the insanity that plays out. I'd love to hear from other people about the weird ass shit they think about, but this was where I was today. So thanks for listening. I hope my vulnerability challenge inspires you to share something real, no matter how crazy what it is, with someone that you care about today. I would certainly love to hear. Thanks.